Morning everyone, this is Mary. You're watching another little piece of my art. So today I'm going to attempt to do my very first coloring chat. We'll see how that works out. I'm using a different tripod. It's a little bit shorter, so hopefully you can see a little bit better. We're at my kitchen table. There's a lot of projects going on here, so excuse the mess. So I was thinking that in the journaling world, there was these prompts that we used to use in journals. I can't remember all of them, but it was something like, it was called Currently, and then you would list currently like what you're wearing, what you're watching, what you're listening to, your obsession, that kind of thing. So I thought that would be a fun thing to just prattle on about while I'm working on this picture. Oh, let me see if I can get you any without this tripod toppling over. Oh, okay, wait. We might fall. Okay. The book I'm working in is Vintage something or other, Beautiful Vintage. So, what I'm currently wearing is 2 shirts. My furnace went out. Ugh, you guys, I live in a very old house. It's from either the 40s or the 50s. Very old house, and the furnace is original to the home. So it does go out quite often. It's not a new thing, but furnaces are extremely expensive to replace. So I find myself often wondering if replacing it would have been cheaper in the long run, because we have repaired it so many times so far, and it just seems to continuously go out. So yeah, currently wearing all the clothes. So my hubby is a maintenance man. But he does not have his HVAC yet. He's going to be... Jack, can you drink any louder? Please excuse the loud gulping. That's my bigger dog, my Brittany Spaniel. He wants to let everyone know he's drinking now. Anyways, my husband does not have his HVAC yet, but he works doing that, so he knows how to do some of it, but not all of it. And so his partner, Dan, has been in the biz for a long time, so he's going to come over. Apparently they ordered a part for it. Hopefully, I mean, it's not that it's all the way out, but it's just not functioning to the normal. I just used the wrong color. Not functioning to the normal ability that it should function to. So my baths are cold, my showers are very short, and that's just not fun in the winter, because I have problems with aching from arthritis, and I do have lupus as well. So aching is a big thing. I sleep on a heating pad, and getting cold is just very uncomfortable for me. It just makes everything hurt. So yeah, hopefully I won't be wearing 2 clothes the next time I am on camera, or actually behind the camera. Currently watching, well, let's see. I was watching something on Netflix last night. I didn't finish it, so I'm going to rewatch it. Something about, I don't know the name of it, but maybe you guys do. But it was about this man who was convicted of this really brutal rape, and he, I guess, was innocent the whole time. At least that's what, so far that I'm into it, it's saying. But he was convicted because really the police just did not investigate the crime the right way. And, as you see on some of these programs, if they have someone they want to be guilty, it seems like they can just make that happen. So years later, once DNA had become more widely used, they re-examined the evidence in the case, and she had someone else's DNA underneath her fingernails, so they appealed the case using that new evidence, and it was still turned down because once you're in prison, it's really hard to get out. From what I see, like, they don't want to admit that they were ever wrong, and also there is, the possibility of litigation. So, yeah, that's how far I got last night. But I'm assuming that he does get released because that's sort of what the little synopsis of the show said. So there's that. Also, I received part 2 of The Shining, which is called Dr. Sleep. I received that DVD as a birthday gift, and my son and his wife and their baby were over the other night, and we started watching that. But you know how it is when you have a little one around. It's not really easy to concentrate because they're always needing, something. So we watched most of that movie, but we didn't finish it. So my son came over yesterday and took the DVD, which is basically like saying I'm never going to see it again, because I don't know about you guys, but my kids are not really good at that whole borrowing thing. Borrowing usually means now it's mine. So hopefully I will get to see the end of that. I am a big Stephen King fan. I used to have all of his books, but books are extremely cumbersome to move. So the last time we moved, I sold just nearly almost all of my Stephen King books and almost all of my Anne Rice books. I just have a few favorites left, and that's all. So when he does come out with a new book, I do read it, but I just don't keep a hold of it anymore unless I really like it. Oh, let's see. Where is that one pencil that made this so red up here? Is it that one? It's not. I started working on this last night because another thing about me is I have had terrible insomnia my whole life long. It's just a problem. I'm such a super light sleeper, and I think that when I had children, that just really even made it worse because, I was always waiting for them to wake up. It's just such a weird thing. Like, they would be asleep and everybody would say, go to sleep. And I'm like, but I know they're going to wake up. So, yeah, I walked around as a zombie for quite some time, and I think it kind of just exasperated the sleeping patterns that I already were not good. So what happens is I usually fall asleep for an hour or two, then I wake up, and then I'm like fighting to fall back to sleep, which then I get aggravated and get up and make coffee because I am a coffee addict. Seriously have a problem. I need to get some decaf. But I'll make coffee, and, I'll be drinking coffee at 3 o'clock in the morning, which is not conducive to sleeping either. So I know it's partially my fault, but it's just, ugh. And I have been having nightmares, you guys. It's so weird. I don't know if it's just because of, the current state of affairs in the world, but when I do fall asleep, I just have been having terrible, freaky dreams. And when I wake up, I'm like, yeah, I'm not going back there. Oh, no. So there's that. What am I currently reading? You know what? I am not reading a thing. I did get, right before Christmas, the Apocrypha. Apocrypha, am I saying that right? It's another portion of the Bible. I've been wanting to read that for a long time because I did read the book of Enoch, which was another separate part of the Bible that was, I guess, removed or not canon. So that was very interesting, and I love reading that sort of thing. It's just, it's fascinating. I don't know which part, if any of it is true or real or happened, but it's very interesting. So I did order the Apocrypha right before Christmas, and I need to order my son a copy as well, because we both have, a pretty substantial collection of Bibles. We both really like studying those types of, mystery things. So if I want to read, that's probably what I will read. But right now, it's like coloring has taken over. So, but hours are very low at work. Ohio is under curfew. So the bars are not closed, and I do work at a VFW club, which is, it has food and stuff too, but mostly, just a bar. So we didn't close, but we went under curfew. First, the curfew was until 11 p.m., so therefore you didn't call last call until like 10 p.m., and then, around 10:30 started breaking things down so that you could not be in the business after 11, and people got in big trouble who just decided they were going to, ignore that, and they even put their names in the paper. I couldn't believe it. So then we got a different curfew after, well, I guess maybe it was around Halloween time, or right there, maybe Thanksgiving, I'm not sure. But then we got that curfew, and that curfew was for an hour earlier. So we have to call last call and all of that stuff and be out of there, and it takes a long time to break things down, clean things up, put everything away. So we have to be out of there by 10 p.m. no later, because that is the curfew in my area. So, with that going on, it's kind of a scramble for hours with everyone, because, there's less hours that we're open, of course. So, yeah, I'm home a little bit more, and it's just so strange because I feel like I'm busier being at home, because I'm always, trying to do all different kinds of projects that I want to do while I'm here. And, yeah, so then, what was I going to say about work? I don't know, but it's just going to be so weird if we ever do go back to regular hours, because we're all getting spoiled, working less hard. And, nothing, in my opinion, I mean, my grandma used to say this, and it's, kind of true as I get older, but nothing really good happens after midnight. Good being the in terms of, like, if I'm working, the people that are hanging out after midnight are probably going to, cause some kind of an issue, whether or not it's anything bad or they just get on my last nerve because they're highly intoxicated. Yeah. So we're all getting kind of spoiled, getting to go home early, but yet there's, of course, less money. Oh, I know what I was going to say. So our governor, DeWine, he just passed some kind of a thing to extend the financial help that restaurants and bars are receiving at this time, because so many of them have closed down. So many places that have been open for years and years that we have been patrons of, restaurants that we really, really like to eat at and stuff. It's just really sad. So that's the big thing with the shutting things down. Like, I can understand, I agree with shutting things down to just finally kind of, end it or slow it way down, but it's just so many people losing their livelihood. It's a hard thing, to be in the middle of trying to figure out how to think on that. So, yeah, that's my little work blurb. What am I currently listening to? I listen to grunge music. That's my favorite. Yeah, I mostly I have a lot of playlists on Spotify that I run through, and then a lot of times I like to watch videos that I've watched 1,000 times before, because it just brings back really good memories. My brother was always in bands in the 90s, and I helped him out, and we, did a lot of stuff with music back then. So it's just good memories. The 90s to me are like the golden years. My kids were born then, so it just brings back, nice feelings for me, even though grunge music is kind of emo, like somebody kind of like country music, only in grunge music, if you play it backwards, you don't get your dog back and your truck back or anything like that. You just, I don't know, it gets sadder. So yeah, that's probably what I'm currently listening to. I was watching some videos of Bush the other night. I used to love Gavin Rossdale a lot. He is a handsome one, and he still is handsome. So go Gavin. What else? Let's see. What is my current obsession? Coloring, obviously. Like, coloring is taking over, which my husband is so happy about because, I have a lot of supplies, even though compared to some other people, maybe it'd be just a small amount. But I have the house I live in is very, like I said, it's old and it's very small. When these houses were built, I think closets had just came into being a thing. So the closets are so tiny. I mean, it's like a porta potty or smaller. So yeah, it's just difficult to find places to store things. And then if I put them, we do have a storage unit because there's just nowhere to keep like Christmas seasonal things, lawn things, stuff like that you don't want outside getting weathered. So we do have a storage unit. But if I was to put books and art supplies in there, knowing me, it would be the one thing I want, like the day after I put it in there, and I'd have to go down there and get it and sift through all the other hoard. And B, it's just not practical. I would worry that the storage unit, I mean, they are kind of weather controlled, but there's certain things you don't really want to put in a storage unit. So I like to have all of my stuff available to me, and therefore I have to keep it to a minimum, or at least in my opinion of a minimum. Like, my husband thinks I have way too many pencils and markers, but you know how they don't understand because they don't do it. But I have said to him before, look how many tools you have. I mean, a wrench is a wrench, right? But you have this wrench and you have that wrench. And he goes, well, they do different things. I'm like, exactly. Pencils and markers, they do different things. I need different ones. So he kind of got it then. Currently eating. I am, you guys, listen, I gave up sugar. I thought it was 2 years ago. Now I'm not sure. I gave up sugar and I really went for it. Now I know there's sugar in tons of things, ketchup and just tons of things. But I'm talking about my sugar addiction where I was always wanting to eat sweets. And I used to put tons of sugar in my coffee. I used to drink root beer. I don't do any of those things now. So I drink Coke Zero if I want to drink pop or soda. But in my coffee, I use artificial sweetener because I do have to have some sort of flavor to it. So, yeah, I mean, it was great because I did drop 10 or 15 pounds when I started doing that. So, of course, now it's the holiday time, and I don't know why, but people seem to think that they should gift me chocolate, which is ugh, that was my favorite thing to just binge on, and I should not have it in the house because it's just too tempting. So currently what I'm eating is we have a cheesecake from the other night that we need to either, eat or throw away, which I doubt that would ever happen because my daughter lives here as well and she's got the sweet tooth problem. So yeah, we've been eating cheesecake, and then because my hubby cannot resist either. He's a big ice cream fan. I can't eat ice cream because my teeth are too sensitive. But, he's like, well, we should get, if we're getting a cheesecake, we should get some cake. So he bought this giant cake thing from Walmart with all these different like pieces you could try in there. Louisiana crunch cake was absolutely delicious. So yeah, I told him last night, when this stuff is done, do not bring any more home because the scale is not happy, and if the scale's not happy, Mama's not happy. So he's always so sweet. Like, you look fine, you look great, eat. And I'm like, oh. So yeah, that's basically my eating situation. What else? I can't remember what else was in that journaling prompt. I used to do that all the time. Reading, wearing, listening to, watching. I know all those were there. But I can't remember what else. If you know, let me know so that when I do this again, I can know what to talk about. Because believe me, I could ramble for hours, but it probably wouldn't be something that would be even remotely interesting to you. So yeah, that's about it, guys. I think I'm going to end this here. Oh, I have been using Crayola those pencils I got for Christmas. These. I've been using these over the top of just whatever's in here. There's Sharpies and the I really like these. Excuse me. I really like these Crayola Take Note permanent markers. They're nice as well. And then I have a few Bics left to get rid of from sets from long ago. Some metallic ones and some regular ones. Bics seem to go out fast for me. I don't know about you. I wanted to show you this. I had talked about it on Instagram, but you know, some people don't have it. Now I have stuff falling everywhere. I wanted to just show you briefly this. I have been, so I had an idea to, in this mandala book. This is Mindful Mandalas by Jane Snedden-Peever. I gave this to my dad and he gave it back. He said it was too hard for him, or, you know, he just didn't, he said that's too detailed and he didn't like it. So I took it back and I was like, well, you know, I could give it to someone or I could cut it up or whatever, but I decided that it would be fun to do the mandalas, and then I have these figures from this book from Time magazine that they're just like old-fashioned ladies doing different things in their clothes. And I don't like the backgrounds in that book because there really is no backgrounds, and I mean, or it's just a suggestion, like a line, and I didn't want to fill all that stuff on because it's very thin paper anyway. So I decided I would cut them up after I color them and make some collages on top of my mandalas. So I'm playing around with that. Here's a sun. I might put that sun there. I've got these from that book that I got for Christmas. The, let's see, Powder and Paper Play by Lotta Jansdotter. I think that's where I got these from. These little houses. I haven't, you know, fussy cut them out yet, but I was thinking of putting them around, like, you know, this mandala is more or less the tornado. That would be kind of fun. And yeah, so I enjoyed that so much, or the idea of it, that I decided to, you know, I'm going to keep doing that. And I chose this one will be next with this lady. So I will cut her out, and I don't know, maybe since her arm's out, like I'll put something here that she's pointing to. I don't know, I'm not sure. It's been fun just playing around. So yeah, that's all my projects I got sitting out everywhere, and it really aggravates everyone else because we can't use a table. All right, guys, thank you for putting up with me for my very first color and chat. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for all your likes, shares, and subscriptions, and I will see you again next time. Bye.